Star Trek Discovery Season 4 has arrived. We're once again back with Michael Burnham, who has been freshly promoted to Captain at the end of Season 3, and she now finally commands the USS Discovery and crew. Let's jump in and see how the first entry into the new season holds up. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host Captain Jack, and let's get right into it. Our first episode of Season 4 is titled Kobayashi Maru, and is written by Michelle Paradise, Jenny Loomer and Alex Kurtzman, and is directed by Otlande Sumai. After months spent reconnecting the United Federation of Planets with distant worlds, Captain Burnham and the crew of the USS Discovery is sent to assist a damaged space station. A seemingly routine mission that reveals the existence of a terrifying new threat. Before we fully jump into this review, I want to take a quick moment to talk about the latest Star Trek Discovery news. As of Tuesday, the 16th of November, Trekkies learned that Discovery would be leaving Netflix as the international distributor of the series outside of the United States and Canada. Of course, as usual, if you're in the United States of America and Canada, you're able to watch Star Trek Discovery via Paramount Plus and Crave/CTV Sci-Fi, so there is no change at all. Meanwhile, international fans are once again left out in the cold by the release of a series such as Star Trek Prodigy, Lower Decks, and now Discovery Season 4. In terms of when international fans are able to watch Discovery Season 4, it's now somewhat confirmed that the United Kingdom, Ireland, Austria and Switzerland will be among the first markets to stream Discovery on Paramount Plus, as the platform expands outside of North America. January 2022 is the date going around, but so far it's not 100% confirmed as far as I'm personally concerned. Yes, this is really bad news, and I've got to say that ViacomCBS have really dropped the ball on this matter, especially with being so close about the release of Season 4. I'm sure many of you will share your thoughts on this matter in the video comment section below, as I think many of your opinions public on this one will really matter. Trek Central will still cover Discovery Season 4, however going forward we're now making a concerted effort to avoid spoilers online and in our video titles and thumbnails etc. As such, please be warned there will be spoilers in this review as always. But don't worry, we're not forgetting about our international fans, so keep that in mind as we go forward. Hopefully we'll be watching Discovery together sometime soon. If you do want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. Okay, with that out of the way, let's jump straight into this. Before we do start the review, we have to talk about the title of this episode, Kobayashi Maru. For those who don't know, Kobayashi Maru was a test used in Starfleet Academy as a no-win scenario, for cadets to learn that sometimes you can't win every situation. James C. Kirk was one of the only people to beat the test, by hacking the system, and was commended for original thinking. In the episode, we get a no-win scenario, Burnham in command trying to save a station of people after it's hit by a gravimetric anomaly. People died and Burnham failed the test, but sometimes you have to learn that you can't save everyone, which is what Captain Burnham needs to learn. We do get some excellent character deconstruction for the character of Burnham, having this need to want to save everyone due to the trauma she has been through. Anyway, we'll get back to this and talking about this more after this episode essentially. The first episode of Season 4 in our view starts off a little weak for the first 10 or so minutes, compared to the rest of the episode, which was actually a really brilliant first episode of a new season. The butterfly species we met were cool, but it felt quite silly and offbeat in an almost Trek animated series sort of way. However, I will say, seeing where the Federation is at the moment in regards to rebuilding and what style of Captain Burnham is, was put on full display in this scene. I will also say that the special effects for the scene were quite fluctuating, with some great effects turning into almost Star Trek Enterprise level effects of characters running. Hopefully the rest of the season is not like this, as the rest of the episode at least redeems this shaky start. It has been 5 months since the events of the final of Season 3 of Discovery, so starting out with Discovery on a mission to rekindle diplomatic ties with former Federation members is very good, and lets us know what kind of thing Discovery's been doing for the last 5 months. However, starting with butterfly people was a bold choice, when we could have got something else entirely.
They are not butterfly people!
It's also interesting to note that this is the first time Star Trek Discovery has started a season away from a previous episode. Season 2 started as soon as they met the Enterprise in Season 1, and even though Season 3 started 900 years after Season 2, it was still following the immediate events of Season 2. So I do enjoy this time skip and to see that the Federation has been slowly rebuilding itself to 59 member worlds, and our Discovery crew are integrated into this new Federation. I do hope we get some look at what happens in those 5 months, maybe in book form, because I'm sure there are some fascinating adventures that went down there. Perhaps a book following Michael Burnham's immediate promotion to the rank of captain. That certainly could be one for the books. We have a new president, Lyra Rillick. who looks to be a very fascinating character. To start off with, she is part human, Cardassian and Bajoran, which is really cool, and that's just a nice representation and legacy of what Deep Space Nine was able to accomplish between those three species. But apart from that, she's fascinating as a president. She's very hands-on, which Burnham is confused by, and thinks she's simply trying to tick boxes to look good politically. President Rillick is played by actress Cheetah Horsdale, who has been in many fantastic TV series and other productions, including one of my personal favourites, Amazon Prime's The Man in the High Castle. It's great to see her in another sci-fi universe. She seems to be a foil to Burnham in a fascinating way, going against her orders to do what is right, and the President hitting back in regard. I really love this character and can't wait to see her more. I hope we get more of this political view on the Federation, as scenes like the Asira Advance meeting from last season were some of the best. Though I do get the impression the President has her own agenda. The episode is built off of so many character moments, which did exceptionally well. We got way more from our bridge officers this episode, which is always a plus. There's more tongue-in-cheek comments between Owo and Kayla to the more heart-rendering moments of Book and his brother Kahim, and nephew Leto. So having mentioned Kahim and Leto, we have to talk about a big part of this episode, which we end on, and that is the destruction of Quajon from his gravimetric anomaly. We got to know Quajon, Kahim and Leto in last season, so the destruction of Quajon as a planet would have hit hard regardless. But the scenes we got this episode emphasising how much of a planet Quajon means to its people, as well as how much Kahim and Leto mean to Book, made this hurt so much more. It's incredibly sad, and I look forward to seeing how much Book handles this in the future episodes. This isn't the only sadness from this season, as Tilly and Dira try to save people on the station, but unfortunately some of them die in the Discovery shuttle bay, which will hopefully teach them to close the shuttle bay doors more frequently than last season. Come on now. Of course, this is only a random character who dies, but you can see it hits Tilly hard, as well as Adira. They experience a similar thing with the death of Grey, having a piece of debris hitting their generational ship, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's hurt Adira in that regard as well. Someone who is not present on the bridge of Discovery is Lieutenant Commander Bryce, who is currently consulting on the USS Curry. Instead, we get Lieutenant Christopher, who gets some lines, but very much reminds me of the times in the Next Generation and the original series where we get someone on the bridge who wasn't one of our familiar faces. I do hope we get Bryce back soon because I love him from Discovery's books, and just hope we get more of the content for this season. Another great character moment was between Saru and Sakal, the one who accidentally caused the burn. Saru became a council member on his planet, talking to Kelpian and Ball alike, and being referred to as the Great Elder, which is cool. Having Sue and the other Kelpians discuss whether to open their planet, and Sue reiterating how combined we're not only as a species on the same planet, but planets in the same galaxy was super sweet. And Sue is just a great ambassador in this sense. We did almost call it in a way. I definitely say my favourite pairing this episode was Saru and Sakal. Sakal giving advice to Saru as a friend on whether Saru should return to Starfleet, and he doesn't have to stay as an obligation to him because he has friends now. Having the first episode introduce our big bad is interesting, and I hope that not all of our subsequent episodes are just about solving the gravimetric anomaly, but also having some self-contained episodes, which may be caused by the anomaly, and having a start and end to themselves. Season 3 did some of these episodes well, with examples such as Die Trying, which was its own episode, but were caused by the fact that travel was hard and such. Now, we haven't talked about Archer's space dock, which in itself deserves its own segment in this review. Having the rebuilt Federation honor basically one of its people that founded the Federation is so great, and having the Enterprise theme play brought a tear to this Enterprise fan's eye. I'm going to say that with the introduction of a new space dock facility, and it being called Archer Space Dock, I would totally not be surprised if we see a new USS Enterprise being constructed at the end of Season 4. What a fantastic way to tie up a season that would be, and really show the Federation is returning. The Enterprise is a symbol of Starfleet and the Federation, so that would be fantastic. Get that fan art working away. Star Trek Enterprise remains one of my all-time favourite Star Trek series. A look at how the mighty giants of Starfleet and the Federation were first constructed during an unexplored and unknown final frontier. We can likely draw some comparisons between Discovery Season 3 and 4, as well as Enterprise. We do get a new look at the Voyager J. It's being equipped with something called a pathway drive. Now this is fascinating. Not only the Federation is still trying to find dilithium alternatives, but also the Pathfinder project was that was used to communicate with the original USS Voyager. And now the Pathway project is going to be equipped into the Voyager J to help navigate this new frontier. A nice cheeky little reference, might I say. We also get some great shots of ships this episode, from new worker bees to the ships we saw last season, so hopefully they heard us all last season when we complained that we couldn't see enough of these brand new starships. Talking about the music in this episode was great as well. Jeff Russo usually does an excellent job with music for Discovery, but I made a note of this because this episode's music was really standing out, and I want to say that, especially the Enterprise theme. Come on, I'm gonna mention it every opportunity I get, and you will know that. Overall, apart from a shaky start, this episode was an excellent first episode of a brand new season, and I very much look forward to what the rest of the season has in store for us. I very much already grabbed by the first entry into the 4th season of Discovery. Originally, I was kinda hesitant about Michael Burnham taking on the captain's role of the USS Discovery, even though we all did see it coming, let's be honest. However, Sonequa Martin Green does a fantastic job of portraying a character which has gone through a lot to get where she is, even if at times the writing does let her down due to emotions in my opinion. Seeing more of a bridge crew taking core places in this episode is great, and I hope it carries on throughout season 4. Our crew have all been promoted, even Reese is now a Lieutenant Commander and is getting to sit in the big chair. Don't forget, as we mentioned at the start of this review, you can watch Star Trek Discovery on Paramount Plus and Crave/CTV Sci-Fi. Unfortunately, there are no dates for international release as of yet. Yes, we're just as upset as you, but don't forget to follow us on social media, we'll be keeping you up to date on the latest release news. Alright, that's a wrap on a review of Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 1. We'll be back each week with brand new episodes, reviews, discussing all of the details. As usual, if you're talking about Star Trek, then we want to hear about it. So get commenting down below to let us know your thoughts on the latest episode and Season 4. Of course, if you do want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from myself and the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching and we'll see you this time next week. Live long and prosper my friends, goodbye.